Hi, everybody. Welcome to Vintage Craft and Chat. This is our live Thursday get together. And typically we do I teach a craft tutorial, some kind of fun project that's geared towards junk journaling and paper crafting. But today we are just doing an open discussion. I've sort of picked the last Thursday of every month to have an open topic. And today we're talking about creative blocks because we all get them. Let me turn my sound down. I've had them definitely from time to time over the years, and it's just inevitable. It happens. Sometimes they're short lived, sometimes they last a little bit longer. Sometimes it's just even a project that I'm working on that I just get really stuck and I have to just put it aside and move on. So, and I've kind of been joking to some people that this is a topic that comes up often on our Thursdays together. The other topics that come up a lot are glue. What's our favorite glue? What type of glue we love? What we don't like about certain glues. Craft organization is a topic that comes up often as well. And yeah, creative block, because we all get it. And it doesn't matter what your craft is, what your art is, we all get it. So, but the one thing I wanted to share, I'm going to wait for some people to come in, is my husband made me this really awesome sign. Let me make sure. Do I have it? Yeah, I have it the right way. So he made this he made it at work out of a piece of stainless steel. And I love it. It's awesome. It's touching because he gets excited about what I'm doing here on my channel. And he's super supportive. And just that he even thought to make me this. Of course, I love handmade gifts. And that's like kind of my favorite gift to receive is handmade gifts or crafty gifts. So yeah, I thought this was really special, and I wanted to share it with all of you. And I think what I'm going to do, he and I talked about it. I have these two pictures up behind me, and they're not. I don't know. I've kind of done a whole revamp on this little corner of the dining room where I craft from. So I think what I'm going to do or plan to do is get maybe some plate shelves to put up behind me. Maybe, I don't know, maybe like 3 of them or something. And so this can go on one, and I can display some of the things that I make, some tags, and I can put, my junk journals up there sometimes when I'm on. So anyway, so I wanted to share that with you guys. I think that's really fun. And let me put it over here. Kind of get it out of the way. I hope everybody's having a good day. So let's see, should I wait a little bit longer? You know what? I'm going to wait a few more minutes to see if we get any more people in. And I think what I may do, if I can talk and craft at the same time, sometimes that's not easy. Some days I master it well, and some days I don't. I start swirling and get off topic. But I think what I'll do, maybe depending on how the discussion goes, I may turn the camera around and do a down cam at some point, and maybe just make a master board. And I pulled out, I rediscovered this in the garage over the weekend. My husband and I were kind of reorganizing this space. I don't know where I picked this up. I might have gotten it on Whatnot, maybe a live sale, but it's called Boating Skills and Seamanship. It says United States Coast Guard Auxiliary. It's 6th edition. And what appealed to me, I always talk about the graphics and things. I liked what was going on inside of it. There's like some kind of cool boating. But I was watching Julie at Camilla Crafts maybe last night. I'm not sure if it was a recent video or one that was a little bit older. It had just kind of popped up, and I like to listen to her sometimes, like when I'm getting ready to go to sleep. She's relaxing. I like to. Hi, I have some people people in. Hi, Angela. Hello. How are you feeling? How are your teeth feeling? And Pam is here. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy to see you. Miss Pam, Pamela Blanchard. Welcome, welcome. I know. You looked great in your picture, Angela, that you posted in our in one of our groups. You looked fabulous. So hopefully you're feeling better, because it's been, I think was it yesterday or the day before? Remind me how many days, but I bet you're feeling better today. Yeah. Let us know how you're feeling. So I was watching Julie, and she was working on a master board, which was interesting because she was also talking about that she was kind of in a funk. I don't want to say it's like a total creative block, but it was interesting because I do hear that come up from time to time on other people's craft channels. But she was making a master board, and typically I'll grab a piece of cardstock or something that has a little more thickness to it, because I often will make my tags out of my master boards. But she was making a master board on just a piece of like vintage book page, and I thought that was a really great idea. I haven't done that before. So let me see. Yesterday, okay. So you're a little swollen and bruised, and it's a little hot. It's a little hot to the touch. I'm sure you're on antibiotics. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, yeah. You know what? It was I had taken a sabbatical. I've told most people on here to care for my mother-in-law. So I've kind of been back and forth over the last couple of years, but it was a blessing too, to be able to step away and be with her and love on her and give her all the things that she needed, at the end of her life and in hospice. So I feel very blessed that I was able to do that and be with her every day. And so it was a good thing, but I'm very happy to be back. I'm so happy to be back. This is my happy place, crafting and creating and being back with all of you guys. I'm very happy about that. Oh, they don't give antibiotics anymore. Okay, interesting. I think when my daughter had hers out, although she's allergic to penicillin or any acillin type thing, so I think maybe she didn't have antibiotics either. Maybe it was just like extra strength Tylenol that they had her on. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Go look at the picture. So I'm going to pull out one of these pages here, just so I'm kind of at the ready, and we'll see. And I think what I'll do is I'll grab. I wonder if I should just take this whole book apart now that I'm thinking about it. Sometimes. Oh, what is this? Oh, this is like a whole nother thing that was in here. Let me put that off to the side. Let me see if I can kind of take it apart a little bit better so I'm not ripping. I'd like to have a square edge, and I don't have a large capacity cutter or, chomper paper cutter. Let's see what I have going here. It's a little bit more successful with this piece. Well, maybe not. And it's just glued in, so we'll see. I won't show anyone. I won't show it on screen. I only show crafty things. I won't. Okay. All right. I think I have a couple pages out. I'll have to pick them off the floor. Yeah, I won't show everybody. So we have a couple people here, and I'm sure more people will come in. So today we are talking about creative block. And so I did a little bit of research. I wanted to be a little, slightly prepared for the topic, because I'm not an expert on it. I'm just somebody that's experienced it, but by no means I'm an expert. But some of the things I discovered and found out were very interesting. So first I want to read the definition of creative block. So creative block is a period of time when someone experiences a lack of inspiration or motivation to create. It can happen while working on a current project or when trying to create something new. Creative blocks can be frustrating and challenging and can prevent people from reaching their full creative potential. They can last for hours, days, weeks, or even longer, depending on the reason. Um, Depending on the reason it's happening. Short-term blocks are normal part of the creative process. We all experience them. I bet there's not a creative crafter artist out there that hasn't experienced that. So that's a thing for us to remember. It's totally normal. We all experience it. The other thing that we should keep in mind, and I love this, I read when I was doing my research, important to know that your experience with creative block may be different from others, and that's normal too. How you feel when you experience it, it's going to be different for all of us, and that's totally normal. We're not all the same. So what does creative block feel like for me? For me, when I get it, it feels like I'm stuck. I can't move forward. It may be, I had that recently. I wanted to, I've been doing a lot of paper crafting and junk journaling, and I hadn't made any assemblages for a while. So I got all the pieces and the parts out, and I was sitting here and I was just stuck. I did little pieces and parts, but I was stuck. I couldn't figure out. Assemblages have a particular, you have to put them together, and Pam knows this. You have to put them together in a particular way because you're shipping them. They have to be sturdy. Sometimes it's acrobat. It's an acrobatic thing. Popsicle sticks and little blocks and how you're gluing things or what you're gluing things to. So anyway, I was having a little bit of a blockage on it. And I think because too, each one is completely different. The pieces and the parts are different. And it just wasn't coming together easily. I really wanted to do it, but I set it aside. I just was stuck. I couldn't figure out how to move forward on it. And I thought, why? And I just was sitting here. why am I sitting here doing this? I know I can move on to something that I will love, right? That will bring me joy. This was very interesting. The number one common cause, and I was surprised, but then I wasn't surprised. So the number one cause of creative block is perfectionism. So I had to think about this, and I would say I fall into being a perfectionist. A creative block can often be caused by a fear of not being perfect. This unhealthy desire for perfection can become a major barrier to creativity, leading to hesitation and lack of motivation. This can be especially true for those who have experienced criticism in their creative pursuits. Okay, let me start over. This can be especially true for those who have experienced criticism in their creative pursuits in the past. And the most important thing to remember about perfectionism is that it's simply an unrealistic standard. It's an unrealistic thing that we put on ourselves. No one will ever achieve perfection, and accepting that fact is your first step towards success. And this is a topic too I've expressed with all of you. I've been talking to my daughter Taylor about this a lot. She's one of those old souls. She's wise beyond her years. She's 21. She'll be 22 in August. But we've been discussing this the last couple of weeks. In fact, I wish she was here today. But one of the things she was saying is that sometimes being a perfectionist is you are like your own worst enemy, right? You feel like your own worst enemy. And you guys feel free as I'm talking to like raise your hand if you've had creative block. And also, what does it feel like to you? What does it feel like when you get creative block? Does it last a long time? Is it short? Do you feel stuck like I do? Hi, Terry. Hello. I'm glad you're here. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Um, so let's see. So these are the things to reflect on if we fall into that perfectionism. And we may be little parts of all of these things, right? Part of us may be a perfectionist. It may, right, when we get to number two, we might have a little bit of that as well. So some of the things to ask yourself if you fall into this perfectionism is why? Like reflect. Are you afraid of failure? Do you want to please others? I definitely fall into both of those, right? Nobody wants to fail. That's for sure. Um, we want others to like our work, right? If we're a content creator and we're in front of people, or we're sharing on Instagram, or we're sharing on Pinterest, or just our friends and family, right? We want people around us to yeah, be pleased at the stuff that we're creating. And it comes from the heart too. That's the other thing. That can be, that's kind of an added stress that a lot of us are creating. It's like this, the sign that my husband made me, right? That was a gift from the heart. That was a creative gift. And he might have been afraid that I didn't love it. Of course I was going to, but you never know. Once you understand why you feel the need to be perfect, you can work on letting go of that pressure. So that's a big thing. And another big thing, I really highlighted this when I was taking notes, is focus on progress instead of perfection, right? Try to get rid of that little voice that we have about trying to be perfect. Other things that can work for that is break down into smaller steps. Don't worry about what doesn't work or getting things wrong. Just focus on the process and enjoy the journey. Just focus on enjoying, having fun, how it's making you feel to create and be expressive. As long as you're making consistent progress, you are succeeding. Um, Also, when I was researching this too, I saw a lot of comments and I was reading like different places. A lot of people, you feel the same, Angela? Yeah, you feel the same? Yes, very, so common. Another thing that was kind of bothering me is a lot of the articles and things I was reading, people were talking about mistakes, right? And we've heard since we were kids in school and doing art in elementary school. I did a ton of volunteering when my kids were little in elementary school. We have a terrific art program here in our city and in our school district called Art at Your Fingertips. And every year I ran, I was the docent for a classroom. I took the lead on that. Some years I didn't have any other parents that volunteered to help teach the projects. And we had, I don't know, 5 or 6 every school year. And that was like the number one thing I used to tell the kids. And I did it pre-K all the way up through 6th grade. And is that there's no mistakes, right? We always learn that there's no wrong and there's no mistakes in art and creativity. So that kind of bothered me a little bit. I don't know kind of what do you guys think about that? That's always, and I feel very strongly. I don't think there is any wrong, and I don't think there's any mistakes. And the thing that I was thinking about when I was really focusing on this no mistake thing is that I think a better phrase is to say it's not working, right? It's not, maybe the whole, and sometimes it's not even the whole thing that isn't working. Maybe it's just a piece or a part of that thing. Like let's use an example. Maybe we're working on a junk journal page, or maybe it's just something as simple as a tag. Maybe we're trying to do a collage or something on a tag, and we're feeling like, okay, it isn't working. It's not wrong. It's just not working. But oftentimes, if we look at it, there's something that's good there, right? There's a little gem there. There's something that's pleasing to our eye. And look at that, focus on that thing. The other thing that I read too is like some of us can experience the freeze response. We just can't move forward. We're sitting here. We might have some supplies in front of us, and we're just frozen. We can't move forward. Some of us may experience that. So a good thing to do when you're feeling like that, I do this all the time. When you're stuck in that kind of perfectionist mindset, you're not happy with the direction things are going, maybe you're just frozen, you just can't move forward. The best thing I always find is to take a break. Taking a few minutes to step away from your project can help you refocus and come back with a new perspective. And that stepping away may be like my example with the assemblage. I took all the pieces and the parts and I put them in a bag, and they're in my closet here. I wasn't feeling it. I had so many other things that I wanted to try and play with and work on. So, I mean, it went in the closet. I'll probably pull it back out at some time. It may not even be until, next 4th of July, next year. I have parts of it. So that may be a longer term thing where I'm setting aside, but sometimes it may just be, going for a walk in your neighborhood, taking a drive, going window shopping. And then I wrote for me, so what works for me is to set the project aside and perhaps start something else that strikes my interest or lean into other things I enjoy. So the two things I often say is like going out in the world. I say that to the kids, or sometimes I say I'm taking a field trip. So yeah, it could be window shopping for me, even just, I don't know, walking around Home Goods or Anthropology or Marshall or Target. Sometimes just being out and looking at things, kind of taking those things in, and it sounds strange. It like inspires me in some strange way. Like yesterday, I had to run some errands and go pick up some things, and I was by Walmart, and I wanted to go into Walmart. I saw somebody had posted in a craft supply haul some really cool, inexpensive paper packs that they had at Walmart that had kind of a vintagey look. And I was like, ooh, I'm going to check those out. I think they only had one in the store, but there were all these really cool things in the office supply, like cool clips. And I was looking at the fabrics, and I don't know, it just was a nice little stop. It was a fun little field trip, and it made me start thinking about things. They even had rolls of tickets, and they had cool ledger paper. I don't know, they had some really cool stuff. So I mean, for me, that was a good just to get out for a little bit yesterday and kind of get out of just, sitting here. And the thing to remember too, if it stops feeling fun, walk away. That's for me, that's big. That assemblage wasn't feeling fun. I was really stuck on it for whatever reason. I couldn't get the pieces and parts and how I was going to fortify it, and it wasn't fun. So I think that's important. If it isn't fun, to walk away. Hi, Erin. How are you? I haven't seen you. I have all these people. I haven't seen Pam in a long time. I haven't seen you, Erin, in a long time. How are you, friend? How are you? I'm so glad you're here. You just got an email from Pirate Ship saying simple export rate to Canada is supposed to get cheaper. Yay! We all have lots of friends In Canada. That's good. Oh, that's exciting. I'll have to email Joni later and see if she heard about that. Yeah. It's not feeling fun, walk away. Don't just keep staring at it and looking at it. And maybe walking away is putting it to the other side of your craft desk. So I researched more. They were saying that the second most common reason for creative block is the fear of failure. I mean, I have that too. I'm a perfectionist. And I meant to say procrastinator. I'm a procrastinator too. The second most common reason for creative block is fear of failure. I have that too. When you constantly fear that your work won't be good enough, you can start to feel overwhelmed, and ultimately you get stuck and you won't be able to create. I have that sometimes too. Is that mostly what you've is the fear of failure, Terry? Yeah. Is that resonating the most with you? Mm-hmm. And I have both of those things for sure. And that's interesting. As I was doing this research, I'm like, I have a little bit of this and I have a little bit of that. But there may be things like Terry is saying that fear of failure sticks out the most. So some of the things that they recommended, instead of trying to achieve perfection, focus on the things you have done that you love. We all have things that we've done that we love, and it just pleasing to our eye. There's something about it that works. And so to really focus on those things is very important. Not everything we do has that feeling that it's not working. There's always something we've done that felt good. We loved it. It was successful, pleasing to our eye. We just loved it. So it's really important to focus on those things, right? Don't focus on the thing that you're stuck on right now. Focus on the things that you've done that you really loved. It said, another way to confront the fear of failure is to recognize the things you have done that you liked, we're just talking about, and build confidence from those things. And the thing I was thinking too, many of us keep catch-alls of projects we've completed, right? I have this little, we can't really see it, but I have a little box back here. I actually moved it up here the other day. I was arranging my thing. And so I keep tags and things as I've completed them, and they're back here in my little catch-all. And so sometimes it's good to take a step back and look at the things we have completed. Maybe it's not even a whole journal. Maybe it's, tags like I have. Maybe it's a page, one of your pages in your journals that you really love. There's something about that. So look back at the things that you felt were successful. And then, this is Taylor and I were talking about that. Yeah, and if you liked something that was successful, even if it's just a portion of that tag or that page, start to build on that thing. The third reason they were talking about is self-doubt or lack of confidence. Lack of confidence can also lead to creative block. When we don't believe in ourselves and our abilities, it can be difficult to find the courage to create. Some of the tips for tackling self-doubt are: visualize yourself succeeding. Believe it. Believe it. And Angela's saying, okay, yeah, definitely the perfectionist bit, but probably comparison to others too. Yep, I have it. It's hard to block out, especially, all of us here, we're all on YouTube right now. I would guarantee that most of us watch a lot of YouTube content. I do. I have a lot of creators that I love to watch. And sometimes I'll cycle through. Sometimes I'll have a favorite current person, and I do a deep dive. I watch a lot of their content, and then I may kind of move off, and it's an ebb and a flow, ebb and a flow. But it's so easy to compare ourselves to other people. It's our human nature to do it. It's just a built-in thing, and it's hard to kind of block that out. But the thing that I try to remember is that I'm me, and I'm unique, and I'm never, what I create and what I make is always going to be different from other people. It's never going to be the same. It's going to be unique to me. It's unique to um, what looks pleasing to me and to my eye. And always remember that if one person, if this isn't for, it may not be for everyone, but it'll resonate for more people than that you can imagine, right? It'll resonate with more people than you know. Oh, thank you, Angela. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So believe in it. Like, visualize yourself succeeding. This is one of the things I thought about before starting on a project. Take a few moments to envision yourself completing it successfully. Maybe you're sitting down and saying, I want to make a dangle. I've never made a dangle, and visualize yourself saying, I'm going to make the cutest darn dangle, right? I'm going to have fun. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to play. So imagine yourself creating that thing successfully. It'll help you stay motivated and focused. And one of the things that Taylor said, which I loved, and she said, if you are really stuck, return to your roots. Do something that you felt was successful in the past. So we keep going back, right? We keep circling back around. A lot of the things to get us out of creative blocks for each of these, perfectionism, fear of failure, self-doubt, a lot of the things are very similar in these categories. So yeah, do the thing that you felt was successful. Let's see here. Also, do something that gives you an ego boost. So same thing, when you're concentrating on that thing that was successful, that's going to give you that ego boost. Another thing which I loved, and I've done this before too, particularly, and I've done this because I'm very visual, very visual with things. Also, and I don't know if everybody does this as a content creator, is when I'm creating things, I sometimes jump ahead and I'm thinking about how this thing is going to look in a thumbnail. Now, that's just unique to me, I guess. Maybe that's just the way my brain works. I love doing my thumbnails. I love playing in Canva. I love the process of that part of creating for my posts, my videos, my lives. So I often visualize, okay, what is this thing going to look like in my thumbnail? How visually pleasing is it going to look maybe for an Instagram post? But one of the things my daughter Taylor recommended is take a photo of your piece and look at it with fresh eyes. She even said, turn it upside down. Like, sometimes this may apply. I mean, she's a painter. She does sculpting, people and all kinds of stuff. But I've done that before. I've taken a picture of a tag or something I've worked on and looked at it through my camera rather than looking at, and it sounds weird, but it kind of helps you focus and just kind of look at it differently. And I've done that with quite a few pieces. Let's see. Oh, did your aunt like the hidden paper clips? Oh, I love that. Oh, that makes me happy. I'm glad to hear that, Angela. That's fun. See, that makes me happy. The other thing to do, and I think we have to be a little bit careful about this, maybe, is to ask people for feedback. Seek out constructive criticism from someone you trust, someone who can provide an honest assessment of your work. Knowing that someone believes in your ability to succeed can be a great confidence booster. But for me, I also feel like it should be, and that these are kind of my notes that I added, someone who is nurturing. And I think this is so important. Someone who gets the idea of creating for the sake of creating, right? Um, some people, for me, I create because I have to. Feel like I have a need to do it. I have a huge drive to do it. I have a desire to do it. I mean, I had another handmade business for 12 plus years. I just, if I'm away from it for too long, I just kind of don't generally feel happy. I'm not unhappy, but I long to do it. I like making. I like making things with my hands. I like creating. I think about things all the time. Like I get ideas in my head. I don't know. That's probably something like, what is that, like a brain thing? I don't know, right brain, left brain. I don't know what that is. But I do feel like it's very important that if you're going to seek out feedback, to really find somebody who gets the idea of creating for creativity's sake, because some people don't get that. And so you might find you're asking somebody's opinion about something, and they just don't get it. They don't get why you do it, why you love doing it. Maybe they might think that's a total waste of time, but that their brain just doesn't work that way, right? They could be, love to cook, love to garden, whatever. But some people, and I think that's important, because I think sometimes, and we can like reflect back, could have been a teacher, could have been, a parent, could have been somebody, brother, sister, somebody that maybe we said, hey, look at this cool thing I made. And maybe you had kind of a negative reaction, or they're like, oh, that's not that great. And it kind of sticks with us. So I think it's good, because I think it's good to bounce ideas off people, but I really think that's important to really find that person that, gets the idea of creating for the sake of creating. And Taylor was saying too, like, have self-awareness about the feedback, right? Because if you're asking for feedback from somebody that just they don't get it, like, why are you even like, what's the point? What's the point of a hidden paperclip? Is your aunt a crafter too sometimes? Okay. Yeah. So she gets it. Your aunt would be somebody, if you're making, your postcard dividers that you've been making for Katie, or your, ACT cards, like, she probably would get that, right? She would be a person that gets the idea of creating for creativity's sake. And her thing may be sewing, or maybe, quilting or whatever. But and have self-awareness that if that person maybe doesn't, quite get it, and you get negative feedback, don't take it personally, right? It doesn't mean that they're bad or it's bad. Just kind of be self-aware about that. I think that's important. The other thing that they were talking about, number 4, is unclear goals. When you're not sure what you want to achieve, it's difficult to make progress. When you feel stuck, take a step back. Again, we're looking at taking a step back. Determine your goal. Having specific, achievable goals will make it easier to stay motivated and creative. So a few tips for this is, some of us are list makers. I find I don't necessarily do that, but next time I get in a creative block, I may try this, but I find list making, oh my gosh, that helps me immensely in other parts of my life. Like, I have to pay bills and I have to, make this phone call and busy work, whatever, taxes, whatever. It could just be doing laundry. It really helps me to make a list. I don't do it every day, but I find when I do it, I'm more successful. So one of the things you can do is, ask yourself, what do you want to accomplish? Maybe it's just, I keep using the same thing, tags. Let's think, what is another thing? Maybe you want to make, let's say maybe you want to make a master board, right? Or maybe you want to try a new skill set. Maybe you want to try playing with watercolors. Maybe you want to work on collage or rubber stamping. It could be something that's just very particular. So it doesn't mean you're making, you're building the whole project. Maybe it's just that you want to play and learn how to master a new skill set. So try jotting down a plan or simply write your goals down and refer back to that list as you create, right? So sometimes list making can really simplify our thoughts rather than we're doing this big thing, kind of bring it narrow down. I don't need to create this journaling tag that has collage and it has stamping and it has watercolor and it's botanicals and it's all your Tim Holtz things I'm adding to it. Just maybe pick one aspect of that. Maybe it's just the watercolor part of it, right? Kind of narrow it down and simplify, kind of quiets your brain, not all this kind of busy stuff that's going on. The other thing that I love Taylor said is you don't need to treat everything as precious. Create for the sake of creating, for the experience, and don't focus on the outcome. After all, if we are coming from paper crafting world and junk journaling world, most of it isn't precious. I mean, you may be working with antique papers. That may have a little bit of preciousness about it. That may be the one thing that feels precious if your supplies kind of fall into that antique or very vintage, very scarce. Maybe this book that you're working out of, maybe that cost, a little bit of money. But really, whatever we're making, it isn't precious. It's paper, right? It isn't, we're doing it for the sake of creating. We may not be trying to do a masterpiece, right? So try not to always focus on the outcome. The other thing, and this is a big thing, and all of these, I fall into all these categories. Number 5 is distractions. Our lives are, of course, all of our lives are filled with long lists of distractions and responsibilities. We all have responsibilities. Even if you're like a college student, you're a high school student, you're an adult, you're married, you have children, you're taking care of your parents that are aging. We all have heavy responsibilities. It's easy to become distracted by these things and not make time for creativity. I completely fall into that. I was feeling very overwhelmed when we were caring for my mother-in-law, and that was physically taxing. It was emotionally taxing. And I pulled away from my creativity. And in looking back, I shouldn't have. I should have. I mean, there were little spurts where, we were doing full-time 24-hour care for my mother-in-law until we transitioned her to memory care. And there would be times where she was over here and I'm watching her. It's almost like babysitting. She had dementia and late stage dementia. And so a few times I kind of got my supplies out and I was working on things. And it helped me. It helped me kind of, move through the other things that were heavy or that were weighing on me. But mostly I didn't. And I really wish I had. I think it would have made me um, kind of deal with those other things that were really heavy at the time had I turned to my creativity instead of saying, no, 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 I have to do this, I have to do that, and not making time for myself and not making time for the things that, brought me joy. I wasn't making that a priority. And I wish I had, and really in looking back. Um, Let me catch up with the chat a little bit. Let's see. Let's see. You feel like you don't, yeah, you don't have anybody, Terry, but I'm here. I'm here. I have lots of friends in the community that send me pictures of things that they're making and things that they're working on. So you have me. You definitely have me. And I know we have, everybody is so kind and supportive, and you are in a group of creative people. And so when we're circling back to that idea of finding that person or people, or perhaps it's a group of people, is that we all get the creating for the sake of creating. I would guarantee everybody here in the chat gets that and understands that. So I'm here. Send me a picture. I have lots of people that will private message me on Instagram. I'm always here. I'm always available. And I love that. I like that back and forth. I like sometimes I'll do that with friends. For me, my daughter is that, but she's eventually going to, transfer to another university, and she might not be here. So she's kind of my sounding board. Sometimes I am with her, but she's on a totally different level. She's, as I say, I'm a crafter. She's an artist. So she's kind of that sounding board for me. My husband loves and appreciates what I do, but he doesn't get it. But he'll say, "Oh, that's cute." And then sometimes he'll say, "Well, what is it? What's the purpose? Like, what does it do?" But he's always supportive. So I'm your person. I'm your person, Terry. You can just take a picture of something and send me a message on Instagram and say, "What do you think? I'm working on this. What do you think?" Like Leanne was doing yesterday on our live, right? She was working on that one page, and we were all giving our input. Like she wanted, some color added to the spine and a little strip of something. So that's, we all get that, creating for the sake of creating and giving that that feedback. And Angela's saying, on the other side of asking people, I think sometimes like they are just saying they like it because they are my friend. Yes, sometimes we do get that. Definitely. I mean, I think I will use my husband as as an example. Maybe he says he likes it because he loves me, or my son. Sometimes I'll show my son. I mean, he's an 18-year-old, senior getting ready to graduate from high school. I don't know. I show him sometimes. He'll say, "Oh, that's cute," but maybe he's just saying it's cute because, he loves me, doesn't want to say, "Oh, that's weird. I don't like it." So yeah, it is, you can't really know, but that's okay too. That's okay too. Sometimes just the act of doing it. There's been times where I've said, I've showed something to my husband, or I showed something to Taylor, and I'll show her and I'll say, but it needs something, right? Maybe just the act of walking down the hallway to her bedroom and saying, "Look, this is what I'm doing." And I'm not really asking her for an opinion, but it's necessarily, but I'm like, it needs something extra. It needs something like Leanne was doing yesterday. So sometimes just the act of that, taking a picture, looking at your item on your camera, and maybe just the act of, sending me a picture, it'll say, okay, I know it needs something. Boom, I know what that thing is. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I definitely, it does happen. I know it happens when I send friends pictures. Yeah. And you can't avoid that. You can't avoid it. And it's okay because they love you. Um, let's see. Yep. See, same thing, Terry. We're here. We get it. We're your tribe. We are your tribe. She is on Instagram because we all checked that yesterday, and we are now, and Terry has the same name on Instagram, McMouse. Um, yeah, and you haven't posted anything crafty yet. It's a lot. I mean, I've been at this for a while. I've been kind of, out there kind of posting that. Well, I'm on YouTube. On YouTube posting stuff, but it took me a while to post on Instagram of things that I made. It was a slow progression. It was, kind of during the shutdown, we're all stuck inside, and that all caused us to maybe look at the world and life in a different way. For me, it definitely did. Had some losses in my life, my mom and stepdad, and it was a lot going on. And before I posted things that I was making and creating, I would say Day Trip Vintage Company. I had my other business, Pearly Girl. I posted occasionally. My Instagram account is out there, but I really didn't because I was busy making and working and shipping orders, and 99% of what I did was personalized and custom made. And so it was like a hamster. I was like in the hamster wheel. So I really didn't post hardly at all. I just didn't have time. But one of the things, in addition to creating, I love decorating. I like decorating a home. I like, searching for vintage stuff. Most of our home is thrifted or things from estate sales. And I enjoyed that. And that was kind of the first thing I did on Instagram, on my Day Trip Vintage Instagram page. Was I remember I was scared and nervous just to kind of post maybe house pictures or vignettes I'd put together. Maybe it was like a tiered tray thing. I got really into tiered trays during the shutdown because that was a way to take all my little vintage bits and pieces and, create a story. And that made me nervous, just doing that, like putting myself out there. And that was maybe a plant, a plant or something in my garden. So it is hard. I thought, okay, it's decorating or it's a tiered tray, but that's a piece of me, right? That's part of I'm sharing part of my creativity because I created that. I put that thing together. To me, that's an expression of creativity. So it was a very slow process. And I don't know, I'd have to go back and look at my Instagram. I don't remember when I started posting pictures of things I made, and I still feel that way. Even, sometimes putting things on in my Etsy store for sale, right? It's like, oh, is anybody gonna like this? Is anybody gonna buy it? So, like putting ourselves out there is it's hard. It is hard. And like some of us in here, we've made things and like we've had them for sale on YouTube Lives. Like a lot of us do live sales here in the chat too. So, you're on live and you're going to show up show this thing that you put a lot of time and your love and your creativity in it. Maybe nobody's going to like it. So it is hard. But I think, thinking back, Instagram is a nice little easy way to do it, right? It's a little kind of baby step. And you'll be surprised how supportive and loving and kind. I've never had anybody ever post anything negative about anything I've, created and put out there. So it won't happen. It won't happen, Terry. Um, yeah, that would be a good thing. Maybe, oh, I love that idea, Angela. So maybe I'll do like a vintage craft and chat group or something. We can call it, we don't need to call it vintage craft and chat. We could call it something else, but that's a good idea. I don't do, and I kind of, if you guys like that, I kind of like Instagram. I'm more comfortable on Instagram, but recently, and I actually had a local friend that suggested it. I'm not on Facebook a lot. I mean, I have family on Facebook and friends here in the community that use it. So I'm kind of just on there for that. But I also discovered there's probably millions of them, not millions, but I recently discovered like some groups on Facebook where people are like doing like free supply swaps, or they're just posting things they've made. It's very interesting. This is like it's like a whole new world. But I think that's an awesome idea. Let's see, what does Aaron say? My husband will say, "Oh, that's very Aaron-y." I love it. I never quite know what that means. Yeah, right? I love that though. Maybe he means like you like that's your vibe, right? That's like the thing, like some of us will make things or we'll see something. Maybe you don't even look like what the post is and you automatically know that's an Aaron-y thing. Because you have a style and a vibe, right? I mean, I could pick out I've been so away from Instagram, but I can guarantee you, Aaron, if I was scrolling through and I saw a post, I would probably know like that, like, it was a decor picture or something like that. Because you have a really marvelous, awesome style. And I think I could probably pick that out. So that's probably what he means. I could pick out a post that's Aaron-y. Oh, hi. Okay, I want to make sure I'm saying, is it Mary? Like uh Mari, or Mary? I'm glad you're here. Welcome. Good. I'm glad you caught us live. So most Thursdays when we're here live together, I will do a craft tutorial. Usually I'm teaching a project, or maybe it's just a technique. And what I've started doing on the last Thursday of the month is just having kind of an open discussion. It kind of gives me a break of having to prep a project or kind of get something ready to teach. I try to stay ahead of things and kind of have things in the queue. But last month, which was really fun, we talked about craft organization. I gave a little kind of sneak peek what I could do with my overhead cam. So we did that last month. And yeah, today we're talking about creative block. Oh, are you going to set it up? Yeah. Well, I do. I do. That's for sure. I know Leanne. Leanne isn't here right now, but I know Leanne would want to be in it. Yeah. Yeah. Welcome, Mary. We're so glad you're here. We are so glad you're here. Let's see. I want to make sure. Oh, yeah. All right. So I remember one of the first IG photos I saw of yours, Julie. It was a room with big windows and plants in the corner, and thought, oh, I like her. That was probably our family room. Yeah. Ditto, my friend. Ditto. I think I think she's just McMouse. Oh, it looks like you found her. Yes, Kathy should be in it as well. Yeah, and yeah, put Kathy Wiseman too, Angela, because I know she was, I think, going thrifting, or she was out with her daughter today, so she wasn't able to be with us live, but she said she was going to watch the replay. So I know she'll want to be in it for sure. Oh, good. Thank you, Angela. Thank you for doing that. Oh, good. Okay. So let's see. I think I'm almost to the end. So the last thing we were talking about, yeah, is distractions. It might be we feel really weighted down with life responsibilities or life distractions. So one of the things that was recommended is creating an environment where you can focus and create. Even if it's, and this was, I added, even if it's just a small spot carved out with your supplies or a place to sit, place to create. And I did that here in our dining room. I've talked about that before. Our dining room table used to be ground central for our other business, Pearly Girl, but it was a hand stamping business. It was, hammers and alphabet stamps, metal stamping stuff, and really didn't take up a big footprint. I'm gonna take a drink of my coffee. Whoops, let me grab my water here. So the footprint wasn't really big for that business. I have big heavy machinery, which I still have out in the garage. I have big polishing wheels and drilling. I mean, I have all kinds of stuff. So that takes up a little. But again, it's not really that big. But that's out in the garage. But it didn't take a big footprint here. My husband had a little workspace. I had a workspace, and actually, we had 2 employees at one point in time. And so where this refrigerator is, I actually put a second desk in here. And so my shop assistant sat here with the computer. But even with saying all that, it didn't take up a huge footprint. But one of the things I struggled with all my crafting supplies that I kind of built up over the last couple years, the assemblage supplies, the paper crafting supplies, the books, all that stuff that I've been accumulating over the last many, many years. A lot of it I had out in the garage, and it wasn't accessible. Our dining room table just went back to being a dining room table. I went on hiatus with that other business, and I was burnt out. My mom and my stepdad had passed away, only child. I had to deal with their estate and all that comes with that. And I had done, over 12 years with the other business. And it was just a lot of work. It was very busy. I didn't really have a life. I worked 7 days a week. I was just managing the business, the kids, household. That was kind of it. I would never have been on with you guys here today. Just didn't have time for friendships and kind of other stuff in life. And I just kind of didn't want to kind of be in that place anymore. But it was a blessing. It was a blessing to have such an amazing, busy business. And we may even open up this next summer just to kind of move supplies and things, but that's a whole nother thing. Anyway, so I really struggled, like I'm coming back around to it. I really struggled with making the dining room back to being a workplace or a crafting place and having all my stuff out. And I was watching a video. It's Chasing Retro is the name of her YouTube channel. And her name will come back to me. It's escaping me right now, her first name. And I discovered her, I think, at the end of last year. And she was giving a little tour of her workspace, which is also in the dining room of her family home. And it just really struck me. I've shared this with people of that. And she created this kind of little nook in her dining room, and she struggled with that. I think she was expressing that people would be coming into her house and seeing all this stuff. And I have the same thing. Our dining room, it's that the front door is right there. So when people come in the front door, it's like an explosion. They see all this stuff. But her point was that if you're doing something that you love and that people know that it brings joy, you're using your house in a way that's pleasing to you, right? Meg, that's what it is. Thank you. Thank you. That's right, Terry. Meg. I love her channel. Very, very, very inspiring. Yeah, are you? I don't, that's a good, okay. Yeah, you answered that. Yeah, Dear Angela's Vintage on Instagram too. Yeah. I don't know, that just really resonated with me. And I just said, okay, I'm going to do it. I mean, I kind of talked to my husband. Of course, he's so supportive all the time. He said yes, which I knew he would. And I, kind of passed it by the kids. And I've slowly kind of been doing that. I brought in, well, the dining room is now covered with stuff, but I brought in a little cubby over here and started putting some smaller supplies and baskets. I have 2 carts. I brought 1 cart back in. And yeah, it's just my little corner of happy. We have a 3-bedroom house. I have 2 kids at home. All the bedrooms are being used, so I don't have a place. And I don't really want to work out in the garage. We don't have a window, and it's not nice out there. It's good for the pearly girl, the metal stuff and the dust and all that. Of course, I have to have that outside, and all my hammering I did outside. The hammered texture, because it's very loud. You have to wear like really heavy duty ear protection. And yeah, so I just did it. I kind of carved out this little corner. Do I love it when people come over? Not necessarily, because I'm kind of a perfectionist, but it feels good. It feels good to have this space that's just mine and for creating, and it's a happy space. Sometimes I will get up very early in the morning and I grab a cup of coffee and I sit down here right away, kind of before I do anything else. And I can't wait to sit down here, and I can't wait to maybe pick up on the thing I left off the day before, or something new I want to try or play with. And that's been good. That's been very good to do that. So so I do think it's good, even if it's a little corner of a room, even if it's just putting a little table or a little desk, but have your supplies accessible, have your little your paper scrap area, or making a cart. This cart is, I almost need a second cart, but this cart is phenomenal. Even if you just have a cart and you keep all of your supplies here, and you can just roll it around, you can put it in a closet or roll it into your closet and roll it out to your dining table or your kitchen table. And that's your little cart, and that's your creativity space, and makes it accessible. Let's see. Erin's saying, with our current setup, I don't have a specific space I can use for anything creative, but I'm trying to figure something out. Just a crazy season of life. Yes, I'm in that season of life. We are not, and I don't want to be empty nesters. It actually kind of makes me sad to think about that, because I like having my kids here. So I'm always big on saying I'd rather be here in the dining room than have one of the bedrooms. It's my crafting space, because that means my kids aren't here. But I know it'll happen eventually. I don't know what. I think they'll. Well, I don't know. Maybe not my son. My son, some of the things he's looking into, he may not be with us next year. But then I know he'll be back. So, did you redid your cart? Yeah, to hold. Yeah, these carts are awesome. Even if this is your office, kind of like your office, your craft space. Even if you just have a cart, these things are amazing to keep your supplies, and you can roll them around and roll them to where it works. Um, and the other thing that works really well are like things that are stackable, right? I've showed those vintage wooden stackable trays that I have, and I use those for like holding a current project, because a lot of the things I'm working on smalls. I like little things. Um, uh, so I use those and they stack up. So if you can get but like the little trays from Dollar Tree, like those little plastic bins, and they don't even have to be that big. I mean, of course, if you have a big, junk journal, that does take up room. But just having and put that on the top of your tray. Yeah, I mean of your rolly cart, right? And that's like easy cleanup if you're worried, like, okay, I want to pack everything away. Let's see. Oh, you're a new empty nester. Yeah, it does. I'm just I'm excited and happy. It fills me with joy to see. I'm excited for the next chapter for both of my kids. My youngest, he graduates from high school this next Thursday, and I'm excited about. He's thinking about a couple different things, so I'm excited for him, and I'm excited for my daughter. She's wrapping up. She's been at junior college the last few years, and she's wrapping that up and looking to where she wants to transfer. She probably will end up somewhere fairly locally, the two universities she's looking at, where she can still be home and commute, because it's very expensive. It's so expensive here in California to have an apartment and all that stuff. So I'm just excited for them, but I know it will come eventually. And yeah, one of the rooms will probably be my craft space, but and then I'm probably in trouble because I try to keep things contained and at a minimum. It probably won't be a good thing because I'll probably I might go like super crazy. Tammy Renee is here. Hi everyone. Yes, I decided until I get my room organized, no crafting. My main problem is I have set as books. Yeah. Tammy and I have talked about we have a book problem. You've been working on it for 2 days? Good. Going through the house and getting rid of books. And that's hard. When we love books the way we love, that's really hard. I did that over the 3-day weekend. And I've talked about that here. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I didn't share that earlier. So I now officially, one of the cars is parked in our garage. So as a lot of you know, when my mom and stepdad passed away, they lived in Wyoming, and we had they passed away, not COVID related, but within 4 days of each other, both cancer. And it actually set in for both of them, and maybe not somewhat my stepdad, but passing that so soon together. And it was in June, and we had a very small window because my daughter had her wisdom teeth out. We had to wait to fly back and travel for that particular trip. And then my son was starting high school. So my daughter college too as well, but I think her start time was a little bit later. So we had like 4 weeks, and really 3 weeks. My husband was there with us for 3 weeks. We had to clear out a 3-bedroom home plus a basement, plus they had a was it 4-car? No, I guess it was a 2-car garage, and then another standalone custom built garage. So, and many vehicles. And it was a lot, and we had a very short period of time. My mom was an antique and lover and collector, and that's kind of how I got my love for it. And we donated 95% 5% probably of the contents of the home. They lived in a small town in Wyoming. I couldn't find, they didn't have estate sale companies. We didn't have time to do an auction or even figure that out. So we overloaded the 2 thrift stores in town. In fact, we closed one of them down. They had to close business because we were blessing them with so many things, but I was glad to give back to the community and do that. But I didn't want to make quick decisions about the vintage and the antique. And of course, we have a lot of family pieces. And so my husband was a sweetheart, and we got a big moving van, and all that stuff came back home and went into our garage. So as of, I don't know if we did it Monday or Sunday, we pushed kind of the rest. I have a little bit of my mom's stuff left. I have like some Etsy inventory that's still out there that at some point I want to just be in one of the cabinets here in the living room, but my car is in the garage, and that's huge. That is huge. I can't even, I said to the kids, oh my gosh, when was the last time I can't even remember the last, and it probably wasn't even, before my parents passed away, I had Pearly Girl out there and I had machinery and stuff. So it's crazy, but roundabout way to say I was going through my books. I was organizing books. I even took some that are now going to the thrift store. I made a decision on books I was keeping. No, they're going into the sell pile. So that's a roundabout way of saying I'm in the mode of getting rid of books and making decisions on books. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, good. Yay. Okay, Erin's in. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Make sure Tammy wants to be in. Are you? Yeah, you know what? I think I noticed that the other day. Maybe it was something on Instagram. I don't remember what it is. I bet it feels good. Feels good to go back to your roots, right? Yeah. Okay, you're going to be added in as the collection vintage. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my son he'd gone out to Palm Springs with his buddies, kind of celebrating, school almost being over, and they had a little boy trip, and then he came back, and of course they opened up the garage door when he pulled up in his car, and he was like, wow. It was shocking. Shocking to see that we have a car in our garage. So, but it's getting manageable. I mean, I have a shelf, so I have a little bit of inventory, and I have a couple antique dressers that were my mom's. One just has paper that's stuff I'm keeping. Maybe some of it I'll sell if I do craft packs, but it's really, which I don't really want that out there either. I'd like to have that so I need to keep using it and working it and using my books. And I have one shelf that eventually, like one of those tall metal shelves that eventually I just want mostly it is shipping supplies, but I just want all boxes and, bubble wrap, just shipping stuff on there at some point. I have a bin of vintage Christmas that I still need to sell and list. And then there's a little bit of Etsy inventory and books. There's like half of the shelf that's books. Yeah. Doesn't it feel good? And do you feel good, Tammy? I bet you feel good. It's hard to especially if we think, oh my gosh, this is so good. It's kind of hard to let things go, but it feels good. I actually, yeah, as I've been whittling through like my parents' things, obviously I kept a ton of stuff. The kids have kept stuff. We have bins, a few bins. Both kids have, I think maybe my son has one. I think my daughter has a couple of things, as I've been selling things, I'm like, this is Nana's, this is, Bob's, my stepdad. Is this something you love? You think you might, because I know what their vibe is. So there's been things they're like, yeah, I think I really like that. So we've made little bins of stuff that was my parents. And uh, but yeah, and I've started donating stuff. Like I even had a few things over the weekend that I think I tried selling on Facebook Marketplace. One was mine, one was my mom's, but they were kind of the same thing. And I think I tried to take them to the consignment, and they don't like the rusty crusty. They don't like that consignment place that I use, the Assistance League. They like vintage and antique, but more kind of pristine. So anyway, I was like, I don't know, certain things I have a hard time. So my husband's like, yeah, just donate them, let them go. So I'm like slowly doing it. I get into like, this is so good. This is so good. But I'm not decorating with that thing anymore. So I just shouldn't, it should go on to somebody. It should become somebody else's treasure. Um, so let's see. Tammy's saying, yes, most of the ones were my parents and grandparents. I've just decided to make sure no expensive ones go, but make room for my antique ones. Yeah, definitely. Definitely the antique ones are kind of the number one thing. I actually, as I was reorganizing the books that I still have in the garage, I came in and did some organization here too. I pulled in some books that I kind of rediscovered that are, like this one, this boating one, I rediscovered, like, this is great, like collaging and the big pages. So I pulled that in here to the dining room, but I reorganized like my antique and my antique readers and my children's readers, and some of, like, I have some really old little golden books and really old children's books. And so I kind of reorganized that spot. I made a lot of room. Let's see. Yes, Terry, my problem is more sentimental stuff. Yeah. And my parents and grandparents, but decided to keep mine. Yeah. It's really hard. Well, like, my neighbor, right, that I was helping go through her family home, and they were kind of getting it cleaned out and ready to put on the market. And, there were certain books that she wanted to keep. And so, that was interesting. She wanted to keep more, and it didn't really have to do with the fact that they were vintage or antique. She gave me, oh my gosh, so many, you can go back and watch that haul, but she gave me some really fun vintage books, and she gave me a bunch of antique books, because to her, those weren't the things that necessarily held value. So it's like interesting, right? Interesting to see, but she was keeping the ones that had sentimental value, and they weren't necessarily the vintage and the antique. They were maybe books her parents had brought over from Greece, or whatever. There was different things that made those the books that she wanted to keep and put away. So I bet it feels very good, Tammy. That's a good thing. That is a good thing. So let's see, how long have we been on? Well, we've been on about an hour. Yeah, hour and 23 minutes. So I don't have anything scheduled. I have to help my son with some things when he gets home from school, but I think we have a while. Sometimes he goes and gets like a late lunch with his friends. Those boys get hungry after school's over. So maybe I'll turn the camera around, and maybe I'll do a little collaging. We can continue to talk, but just let me know, because I know some of you may have things that you want to, go do and go take care of. So I don't want to leave you. Don't feel like you need to stay, but just let me know if you want me to turn around and do a little bit of collaging. You can hang out a little bit longer. Let's see here. I have water, I have coffee, I have all kinds of stuff. Let's see. And I think that's it. I think we kind of wrapped up, and also, we can continue to talk too about this as I craft a little bit longer this idea of creative block. And so yeah, definitely feel free to you did, Terry? Okay, good. I won't look now, but I'm excited to look when I get off. Okay, Tammy. I'm so glad you're here. I missed you. I feel like I haven't seen you for a while, but I know you've been working hard. I'm proud of you because I know that's hard. I know that's really hard. So have a good day. Have a good day. Okay, let me turn around. I'm like talking through the camera here. Let's see what trouble we can get into here. Oh, I'm so happy too, Erin. Oh my gosh, that just made my day to see you. I missed you. Yes, I'm happy. Go have fun with your daughter. That's wonderful. Even if it's just getting her hair done, that's like a memory. That's a memory maker. Yeah. Yes, it'll be so worth it, Tammy. You're going to feel good to kind of clear some things out. I don't know what it is about that. And I have to say, things that I've donated, things that I've, sold on Facebook, whether it's, my vintage or antique stuff or my mom's, whatever it is, I don't have a regret about a single thing. There's nothing that I regret moving on to a new owner. Absolutely nothing. And I mean, we're talking family pieces and furniture and decor. When I look back, even when I took to Savers this past weekend, I don't have any regrets. And I think that probably will hold true. Yeah. Have a good day. Have a good day, Tammy and Erin. Okay, I'm going to take a sip of my coffee and then I'll do a little collaging and then we'll see. We only have 5 of us, so we'll see if anybody else comes in or we might get tired. Okay, let's see here. I didn't really like that these pages ripped. I'm going to dig into this book a little bit more. I'm going to kind of get in here and see if, look, there's even, what is this? Oh, this is interesting. This is even something, look at that. It's not moldy, but boy, it's got a lot of wear to it. I don't know. I'm going to have to look at that piece. It kind of did a little something there, but I'm going to take this. Look at that. That's cool, that back. Hopefully this doesn't have a lot of value here. But I'm going to kind of take apart this. Ooh, what is that? Has something been eating? Maybe something's been eating at this. Do you guys know? I don't see any bugs, but that's kind of interesting. Is anybody in the know? Look at that. What's going on there? What is that? Is that like silverfish or something? That's the other thing. I don't want my books out in the garage. And I think there's like things you can do, like special things to make sure. Ooh, that one ripped. To make sure, like silverfish and stuff like that. I know there's certain bugs that gravitate towards paper, so that's the other thing. Yeah, what do you think? Isn't that wow? I don't know what that is. Might have to Google that. We need Kathy. Where's Kathy? Kathy's always our person. Oh, now that's ripping. She always has like a wealth of information. And we are very lucky that she does. very lucky. Okay. Maybe that's enough for that. I'll put this aside. As long as it's not an ookie bug. Oh, look at that. That's like a whole engine thing. All right, I'm going to use this. I'm going to use that page. Yeah, and as I was saying earlier, I usually do my master boards on thick cardstock or like thin. Like I love this too, like packaging, like when I make my tags and stuff, I like this kind of thin cardboard. But she was suggesting, or she was doing a masterboard, and it was just on Vintage Book Page, and I thought that was a really good idea. And I think she was making what do I want to say? Envelopes. She ended up making envelopes. Yeah, I'll use this side. Yeah. Oh, did you say she really is? I was tearing into it. Because that's the other thing that I came into this year with the thought of, and when I came back to YouTube, is I have to use what I have to use it. To dig in, and I have to use it. The other thing I'm going to try here is I have this bottle of tacky glue. My daughter was using it. The top went, I don't even know what the top looked like. The top went missing, and I wanted to use it up. I think this might have been the top that came with my, I think, art glitter glue. And I just threw that on there, but I think it's probably going to dry out over time. So let's do a little taste, or not taste test, but a little crafty test, taste test. I'm going to water this down a little bit and see if we can kind of get it where it's a little Mod Podgy. And I might have regrets. It might get very, I have my little, like this is one of the things I kept. And this was my mom's. It probably was when my parents were divorced, and then they both remarried, and for 35, 40 something years. But it says Judy. So this is my mom's. I think she used to keep it on the kitchen counter in the kitchen, and that was kind of like her water glass for medication and stuff like that. So that's kind of one of the silly thing, not silly, but kind of sentimental thing, and it would mean nothing to anybody else. But my mom was, in addition to being a collector, she also was very creative as well, sewer and crocheting, and she just was she kind of had that knack. She was a crafty person. So I like these keeping little things around. I kind of feel like she's hanging out with us here. Oh, Terry, what is it? Oh, you found a fabulous glue stick. It's Yoo-hoo. That's on my list. Got it on Amazon, 12-pack for $13.99. That is totally on my, and I've been procrastinating on that. Oh no, this is something different. Is this it? Oh, that's something different. But that's on my glue stick recommendation list, or one of the ones I'm going to do a test on. And I put a bunch in my cart. I just haven't placed the order yet for it. And mostly also because I won't be here with you all next Thursday. As Ryan will be graduating that day. So where's my ruler? So I haven't placed the order for it yet, but I probably will maybe this weekend. So good. That's good. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like that I know a lot of people use it. I feel like that may end up being my favorite. But I don't want to I don't want to, I'm going to make an open, open opinion. I'm still trying to figure out in my mind how, that side's better. How I'm going to do the test. I feel like I might have one of the kids. This one, I think this is going to go, that's like an edge piece. So I'm going to put that in my little envelope over here because I like to use those blank edge pieces to do stamping on. And I'm just going to kind of pull things out of this scrap bin and see if we can't get it a little bit. But like I don't want to use that in the collage. I'm kind of looking for some, in fact, that's probably good. I'm making a little pile of things here. Whoops. And I think that I think I'm mostly going to look for text. So hopefully this doesn't, but look at, like, I don't know why. Why do I have these little tiny scraps in here? I don't know. I feel like I need to reorganize this like that. I don't know. That one might be okay. A little bit of text here. What a mess this is. I have things in here that I've master boards and then I've cut, and like why did I keep that piece? There's a lot of weird stuff in here. Well, that one's not too bad. What a jumbly mess. Oh good, I'm so glad to hear you. Sounds kind of interesting that you like the is it yoo-hoo? Oh, here's a good one here. It's like, this might even be, I don't know if this is rag paper. I think it might be. I love the feel of that. Let's get a couple more here. I thought I had so much in here. And I've shared that too. I like to, I kind of like squaring off my pieces. I used to do kind of jagged when I did my master boards, and I don't know. Maybe it's just kind of pleasing to the eye to have them a little bit more like square or rectangular. We can put that one in there. Let's see here. Oh, this is a good strip here. You make it a little bit smaller. If anyone wants to message me your address on IG, I'll send you one to try. You'll probably go through it, Terry, right? Oh my gosh, I go through, well, that like cheapy stuff, I went through that pretty quick. That I got from Office Depot or whatever it was. You're so sweet of you to offer. Yeah, I have some. Yeah, I have like, I think a 2-pack I have. And then I think there's like 3 or 4 other brands I think we have on that list. But maybe, I don't know. I might have to have like, yeah, I totally lost track of what I was trying to say. Okay, let's see what this glue is like. It's actually kind of drying out. Might regret this. But again, we're not creating a masterpiece. Going back to that creative block thing, right? We're just having fun. We're just hanging out and creating for the sake of creating. I just thought it would kind of be a relaxing thing to do. Yeah, I was thinking I may have like one of the kids maybe next to me or something, because I feel like as I'm gluing things down, I'll probably have reaction, right? We always kind of have a quick reaction like, ooh, I like this. I'm noticing this, so I don't have to stop and take notes while I'm letting the glue dry. Let's see here. Actually, this is working pretty good. It is drying, but I'm glad to use it up because I don't think I'll repurchase it again. I feel like the art glitter kind of fills up that category. Oh, you know what I saw? So the other place I went yesterday, I ran into Walmart, and I have to say, Walmart had some really cute things. I said that earlier, I think. Really, oh my gosh, the cutest stuff in their office supply. They had a couple like mini, I was looking at their staplers. They had so many staplers. They had a couple versions of like the mini ones. Remember, we were looking at my little swing line. In fact, they have like a new swing line, like a modern swing line, a little mini that was so interesting. Cute clips. Yeah, they had the ticket, they had rolls of ticket. Which of course is like so much, it would take forever, but I do have a couple of those big rolls. Anyway, they had really cute stuff. And then I went into Hobby Lobby because it was right next door to the Walmart. And I was super good. I didn't buy anything crafty at either one. I walked out empty handed. Walmart, I had to get a lampshade. So I got a kind of a cheapy lampshade. Yeah, so they had, I was looking at the glues, and they had Mod Podge, and it was, what was it called? It was almost like, I can't even think of the word, like an acrylic, like you would use in place of, what is that called? Oh my gosh, I'm totally having a blank. What is that? What am I trying to think? What do they put on the nails? You know, where they put that like hard, that like gel stuff, not gel stuff, but it's the hard stuff. Ugh, I need help. I need total help. Anyway, I saw that Mod Podge has like their version of whatever it is. I can't think of what I'm trying to say. It'll come to me. Yeah, like what is this stuff that they like sometimes it's a two-part, like resin. That's what I'm trying to think of. Resin. So I've never seen it before. It's probably been out forever, but it's Mod Podge brand and it works like a resin. So like say you had like a bottle cap. And I've done that before in my assemblages, like a bottle cap, and then you can put like a paper image, and then you top it off with the resin, so it's like see-throughy. It's like see-throughy. Let me see. Let me catch up. Terry says, I'm going to have to go look around Walmart and Dollar Tree, I guess, has 3. They do? They have coin envelopes? Ooh, I did not see coin envelopes when I did those 2 visits to Dollar Tree. Leanne! You're not late, Leanne. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. There's no such thing as late. Uh Showing up is probably the first part of overcoming creating block. No, you can go back. You can go back and look. And I largely too, because I don't want, I'm clearly not, I've experienced creative block, but I'm clearly not an expert in it. So a lot of things I kind of glean from the internet. And, I was kind of reading and then I was adding kind of anecdotal stuff in between. Oh, that's great, Mary. I love this community. It's so wonderful. Good. Oh, let me click on you. Let me click on you too. I'm doing it from my phone. Go to channel. Let me subscribe. Good. And also, Mary, let me make you blue. I just have people blue in here. Just because it's easy to add, let's see.
It's easy to add your links. And just so you know, too, I'm totally friendly and happy with people adding their YouTube links in here. I love it. I think it's good to share and what's the proper word? Like show love, and that, like, we're not competing. There's no there's no competition here. So I'm one of those channels. I'm very share friendly. I think that, to me, that's a very important, being part of this community and interacting with each other is sharing in that way. So yeah, so you can put your link, but we're probably all clicking and we're finding you. You are, Angela? Awesome. 3 away from 800 subs. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so exciting. That's so exciting. Oh yeah, Leanne, Angela set up crafty chat so we can have like a group for vintage craft and chat here, and we can share. And that was one of the things that Terry expressed about, feeling timid about sharing her work. And she said she didn't have anybody specifically that she could use as a sounding board. And I said, well, you have me and you have us. So I think that's really fun. So Angela was so sweet to set up a group where we can do that. And I love that. And one of the things that we talked about, which I don't know, that resonates with me a lot too, is having people that you share with too that have an understanding of, this is getting really wet. I'm not sure that this is the best. Creating or sharing with people that get that you create just for the sake of creating, right? Maybe not necessarily, you're not trying to make a masterpiece, but it's good to find that person or group of people that get that. It's nice to have feedback. And, because sometimes we have people that say, what? Okay, that's cute, but what the heck is it? Or what's the point of it? And sometimes the point is just because. Like, what is the point of what I'm doing here? It's just because. It's doing it for the sake of doing it. No, I don't want to put that there. Let's go over here. I must say this is very wet too, but maybe I'm using too much. I'm using too much stuff here, but I'll probably put this under like a big book or something and see if I can. Okay. I don't know if I want to use that piece. I don't know why my scrap bin is so overloaded. I wasn't really pulling. No, that's like that. I'm trying to not put things next to similar, is why I keep saying, no, that's not a good spot. You know what I think I'm going to try? I think I am going to make envelopes with it, kind of like Julie Camilla Craft. And I never thought I've only ever done master boards on like cardboard or cardstock because I've used them as tags, but she did it just like on vintage paper like this. She probably used glue stick. I can't remember what she used because I think it was one of those I put her on and was kind of half asleep, and I did focus properly like I should have. So I'll have to go back and watch. But I believe she made an envelope. And I have this really, and I haven't used them. I haven't done anything with them, but I bought probably last year, maybe the year before. It's been that long. I bought a set of vintage postal stamps, like red, white, and blue. Oh, this is really kind of thin and ripping. And they're super cool. And I think that would be fun. I'm going to try to photocopy them, scan them and photocopy them because I don't want to use the originals. It's a really great set. And I thought that would be cool to maybe make this into an envelope and then fussy cut the labels and post. I think it's all labels, like first class airmail, that kind of thing, but they're all red, white, and blue. And then maybe do some kind of collage, like maybe make a coin envelope or just like traditional, probably coin envelope, probably not a like a traditional stationery envelope, and then do some kind of collage. I think that sounds very cool. And I would like to use them. I don't need to be hoarding them. And so terrible, I had never even opened the envelope that they came in. I kind of stuck them. I have a drawer where I keep all my like antique and vintage ephemera. And it was I purchased them when everything was going on with my mother-in-law. And I just kind of put them in there, and it was kind of out of sight, out of mind. And so I would like to, that's another thing that I didn't, ooh, let me grab some of those. I did not. Where did I put them? I think I put them in my cubby. Where are they? Because those would be really fun. In fact, I have so many. This is terrible, the things I have. Look at this. Let's see. Look at this, guys. This is terrible. So these are all the little dictionaries I have. So this one is 20,000 words. So this is just an English dictionary. I don't need any more of these mini ones. This is German. And I think I got this at that the same library where I did that haul from. So we have the French one from Kiki. We have the Spanish one. Oh no, this is that Japanese book. French. So we have 2 French and Italian. So I may not use them in this one. I might do a whole masterboard that's just the language ones. And then this is cool. This like realty computer one that I have here. So I might make that specific to that. I've just been pulling out of this scrap bin. Oh, here, we got some dictionary, some more stuff. See, some of these are not, I like my squares. What is even in here taking up room? Oh, here's some of that really old thesaurus that I like. The other thing that's fun, though I want that, maybe I will use some of that, is I like the different, here's some recipe. I like the different colors, right? Like some is dark. We have like different color variation. Okay, now I'm getting into the good stuff back here. Right? Wouldn't it? Yeah, I'm totally set. Wouldn't it be cool, I think, to do a master board that's all the dictionaries? And then I don't know. Oh, maybe actually, I don't know. Maybe that would be cool with the mail thing. We'll have to think about what would be cool to put on that. Let's let's see, what did Angela say? I'm sorry, and I'm not pulling it up on the computer. I was reading on my phone. Angela says, I love that you do these, Chad. It's really inspiring me because between work and the teeth ordeal that had been giving me headaches, it's really hard to be creative. It is. That was like that last thing we were kind of talking about, that number 5, right? Like sometimes it's life things or health things or work stuff, because we have to work, we have to pay our bills. So it's all that. Number 5 is all that stuff, all the things that we have to do for adulting, as I say to the kids, all those adulting things that we have to do when we become adults and pay our bills and have friends and family and commitments and people we take care of and children we take care of. Maybe we'll use a little bit of that. And yeah, those are the things that interest me. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. When I was thinking about coming back to YouTube, it's, we're not all just, these are all things that we deal with that may be challenging. And I really wanted to touch on things that weren't just, oh, here's this project that we're doing today, that really kind of create a community, kind of create a place where we can support each other and all these things that affect our creativity. Yeah, I think that's important. Let's see, let's put this one here. I think I have to add a little bit of more water here. Let's see, I'm working. Oh, you're working on the next tab divider. It's, vintage neon. Oh, I got a bunch of her photos that she actually took and just trying to resize them so I can use them on the, that's interesting. Vintage neon. Wow. So is that like kind of pop? Like neon? When I think of neon, I think of like all the pop culture stuff, like Andy Warhol. Oh my gosh, that's super interesting. The thing that I don't care about either, I don't care if my my scraps are going in the same direction. I don't care if they're upside down or that never bothers me. Sideways, whatever. Especially because there'll be so much other stuff going on with this once we're done. Let's see, what are we doing? We have 8 of us here, so we'll keep going for a little bit longer. Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. She loves it. Yeah, Katie loves all that cool industrial stuff. Oh my gosh. Okay. Ooh, I can't wait to see that one. Now, she's using these for her postcards, right? Are you doing themes of, I think, that are specific to the postcards she has, right? Like, does she have postcards that have that theme? Or are you also doing things that, are you making them themey because that's like her vibe and what she loves? I have not. I've just kind of been away from, I think when I went away, I didn't go away, but when I wasn't as active on YouTube and when I came back, or when, I don't want to say I was away, but I watch a lot. Most of the content I watch is crafting. And so I haven't circled back around to a lot of the sales. So I'm definitely missing everybody that I used to always see in the sales. And also maybe too, because I'm not wanting to add to my collections too much. I'm kind of maxed out. I was already kind of maxed out, and then having all my mom and stepdad stuff. Now I'm really maxed out. Okay. So that was one of the categories she gave you. So all the holidays, and then cityscapes, vintage, neon, fancy interiors, floral, and nature. Oh my gosh. Those are really cool. Oh, this is an interesting question for you, Angela. Sometimes this is something Leanne and I've talked about a little bit. Sometimes when I have like say, okay, you're doing this project for Katie, right? It's something that you promised, that you would do, and so she's giving you these specific categories. Are you finding, does it make it difficult for you when you have specific theme or categories, or does it make it easier for you? I would be very interested to know, because sometimes I don't do well when, like, I don't do well when somebody says, oh, make me this thing and I like this kind of vibe. Oh my gosh, that really stifles my creativity sometimes. I don't know why. And what I was saying to Leanne with the little golden books is I typically go towards small. I like creating in small or quick things. And so it's been interesting. Some weeks I've had a hard time. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, I know I need to make pockets or this. And I've struggled a little bit. I'll sit down and I'll make everything but. Like making this, and this is cute. Nothing has to do with whatever belly bands or whatever it is I know I need to sit down and do. So that's very interesting, finding that out about myself. Because the junk journals are big and there's a lot of pages to fill up, and all the kind of little journals I've made and worked on, they've been smaller, like maybe one signature, and just smaller in size. So it's been interesting discovering that about myself. So Angela's saying, I think easier, but like I said before, the perfectionist part comes in and I can't picture how I want the whole thing to go. So I've been collecting certain pieces for the categories as I find them. I think that's great. And I've been doing that for like kind of my Japanese thing that I want to do. And I don't quite know what it's going to be, but I've been doing that. As I find kind of Japanese type things, I've been, putting them off to the side in that tray. Putting them in your new Temu bags. That's perfect. And sometimes too, like when we talked about maybe you sit down, like maybe you sit down to work on the neon. Oh, my husband just came home. Poor thing. He's sick. My son was super sick the last couple weeks, like a really bad cold, like sore throat and congestion. And then yesterday, my husband, he's now sick. I'm kind of like, ooh, maybe I should sleep on the couch. I don't want to get sick. We have so much going on this coming week. It's crazy. So he's home early because he's not feeling good. So like say you sit down to work on the neon thing, and if you find that you're stuck, right, is to maybe practice that walking away from it a little bit, and then maybe picking up the floral and working on the floral one. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to get the feedback from you, like how you do as you go along. And maybe it might help, implementing some of that. Yeah, I just find my creativity, it just flows more when I just sit down and play or maybe I just have something that's very loose, but I'm not necessarily creating something, that has like very specific parameters, I think. I know. Oh, I know, Leanne. He was even talking real, like, I'm like, can you not hear? I don't know if his ears are clogged, but last night when he got home from work, he doesn't have like a super loud voice, but he was so loud. I guess saying, honey, you're loud. It's almost like he wasn't yelling, but it was just loud. Yes. Yeah, I think, yeah, because you enjoy those, right, with your butterflies and all the things. Yeah, definitely, I probably would do the same. Yeah, those will come easier to you, the floral and the nature. I think that's great. Yeah. Also maybe a little harder because I'm making them for Katie and I want them to look good and kind of a style she would like. Yes, yeah, it is. But you know what? She's gonna love them. She's gonna love them and adore them. Like I know that for a fact. I think I know Katie well enough that she's gonna love them because they came from you and they came from your heart and your creativity. But yeah, there is that sense that you want her to be pleased with them. Yeah, I kind of had that a couple weeks ago. I was making a birthday card for one of my daughter's friends, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I think I was driving Taylor crazy because I'm like, well, would she like this or would she like that? And um, I'm like, gosh, I make stuff like this all the time. I do stuff like this all the time. Why am I struggling with it? And it was because I wanted her to love it. Um, but again, I mean, I knew she would anyway. And she like appreciates handmade and things like that. But I don't know why I was struggling with it so much. And she did. And actually I ended up giving her a piece of jewelry um, that I had made in the past because she likes a lot of my handmade pieces. So, but I kind of struggled with it. I should get some bigger pieces in here. I think I'm making everything too small. Hopefully my scrap bin will be better. I think I need to go in and take out all those really teeny tinies. I don't know why I have those in there. Let's see here. What am I going to put in there? Oh, this one. This one's kind of interesting. Let's put that one there. I feel like I'm painting myself into a corner here. But it's working. That will be a test too to see if I can get this flattened out. This tacky glue. I should put it upside down so I don't have to do this. All right, I think we'll do probably another 10 or 15 minutes and then also we do not have the best Wi-Fi. You know, my husband will probably, he loves watching like sports stuff and whatever on his iPad. So I'll know he'll want to do that and relax a little bit. I can hear he just got a work phone call, so I can hear him out in the garage. He's always getting work phone calls. Oh, I don't think I'll use that. That's just like, that's the back of a botanical and it's just a leaf, but that might be fun to do in a collage. I've done that before where I've just cut off pieces of the leaf. Let's put this one down here. I don't think this is like the best glue. Definitely glue stick works, but I'm so low on that one last glue stick. We're going to have that break next week, so let's see here. How you feeling, honey?
All right.
Oh, you don't sound good.
No, it's like,
Oh my gosh, you do not sound good, honey.
yeah.
Oh. If you could even hear his voice, that's not his normal voice. Oh no. I think I'm going to sleep on the couch tonight. I don't want to get sick. It's terrible to do that, but I do not want to be sick for my son's graduation and my parents are coming. I don't want to get them sick. Maybe he needs to get some antibiotics. Maybe. And Leanne and I are cooking up some surprises for next Wednesday. I don't know if she's still in here, but we have to talk later today more about it. She's come up with some, well, we have a huge big surprise in general, and then Leanne had some other fabulous ideas. So, and we don't have the thumbnail up yet for next Wednesday. I started working on it this morning, but we want to finish up figuring out the details, and then we'll get it posted. Yeah, you know what? I may have some elderberry because I've tried that in the past and I thought that worked really well. You know what I feel like works well too is, have you tried oregano oil? I'm going to make him do that here in a little bit. It's a natural antibiotic. And I've tried that before, and I feel like it's worked really well. It's so difficult. It burns. It has a like real burning sensation, but and it doesn't mix with the water, right? Like it just kind of floats on top and it burns kind of going down, but I've gotten used to it. And I think that works really well too. In fact, I think I'm going to do it also. I'm going to take some Yeah, I don't know. Maybe at work. I don't know. I feel like the oregano oil. I think I just tried it, the elderberry that one time. I kind of didn't keep with it, but I think the oregano oil, I definitely notice if I'm kind of feeling run down. Yeah, I bought it on Amazon. I think I'm pretty sure, And yeah, like it's so strong, right? You think of like pizza, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna smell like a pizza. But I think it works. I can't think of the name. There's some like doctor guy that I watch on YouTube sometimes. And he always has these really great um, kind of health things like that. And a lot of it's sort of like the not common sense, but like kind of what do I want to say? Like tried and true, right? Probably things are like our, you know, ancestors or great grandparents or, kind of those natural things that people probably used all the time. I mean, obviously if you're sick and you need antibiotics and, obviously it's a lot of things that call for that, but um, if there's ways to help your immune system kind of naturally, it's kind of good to try. All right, I think I did that. All righty. Oh, Mary said, I used to make oregano tea for my kids when they were small for cough and congestion. It works great. Yeah, I was really impressed with it. And if I feel like I'm going to do it myself just to kind of boost myself because my husband, I'm going to have him take it. Yeah, I feel like it's worked really well. Oh, you didn't know about the oregano? What is that guy? What is he? He's like motivational doc or something like that. I think that's his YouTube, but he does a lot of like uh yeah, I mean just things like, lemon and cinnamon and ginger and just all these things that I think have worked really well. Things that like yeah, help with congestion, help to kind of open your sinuses up and that kind of thing. But I do think the oregano oil has worked well. I know all these crazy things, huh? We talk about. It's not just crafting. Okay. I think we are done. We are done with our master board. It's a little wavy. It's pretty wet. So I will stick this under. I need a really big, how I have my iron. this is not big enough, my iron that I like to put, but I could probably do it in sections once it dries. I could do in sections or just get like a big book and then put the iron on top and that'll probably do it. Heaven knows I have lots of books next to me. Yeah, we talk about all kinds of things here. Okay, let me turn the camera around. We'll say our goodbyes. There we go. Oh, that's so funny. All righty. Okay. Well, I hope that was a good conversation. I hope it was helpful for the people that were here and participate in the conversation, and those that are watching the replay. I'm hopeful that it was helpful. Yeah. And if anybody, like, we could even do like a part 2 discussion sometime if people think that may be helpful, talking about creative block. And like I said, I feel like we talk about glue all the time. We talk about organization, we talk about creative block. It's one of those things, and I can't tell you how many times I've just been working and lurking and had a craft, my phone, like a craft video just for like the company and the chatter. I can tell you how many times I've heard creators and crafters on YouTube mention it, and small channels all the way up to big, huge channels. People that we all know and love. So I think it's common. So it's good to know that it's normal, and we all experience it from time to time. And hopefully some of those things will help, some of the things that we talked about today. It was good too to hear feedback. If anybody is implementing any of the things, leave a comment down below and let us know what works, because sometimes we are all different and we are all unique, but sometimes something that works for one person may kind of help somebody else, may kind of trigger somebody to think, oh, maybe I'll try that, like the oregano oil. I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that thing. So, all right, everybody. I thank you very much for being here. And again, we won't be together next Thursday. We're taking a break for my son's graduation, and we'll be back the following Thursday. I don't even know what the date of that is, but I'll post my thumbnail. I have a bunch of fun projects over in my bin. So I think I know which one we're going to do next. It's fun. I'm kind of excited about that. And what else? Leanne and I will be on. Oh, I'll have a part 2 of my Kiki neighbor friend haul. Will be out Sunday. I haven't recorded it yet, but that will be out Sunday. So watch for that. And then Leanne and I will be on next Wednesday on her channel. Once we get the thumbnail up, we'll both be posting on Instagram and probably in the community tab with links, because we have some really fun stuff that we'll be doing next Wednesday. You won't want to miss out on that. And that's it. So thank you, everybody. And welcome, Mary. I'm so glad you were here. And I'm excited about our group chat that Angela set up for us on Instagram. I'm excited to go in there and look at everybody's pictures. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, let me know, and we'll chat, and then I'll message you too, Leanne, later, and we'll talk about Wednesday and all that fun stuff. So, all right, everybody, thank you very much. I love you all, and I hope you have a fun, creative, and crafty day. Bye-bye.